Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Mama Hank. Let me ask you something. Do you feel underrepresented as a gay person in the car community? Person of the LGBTQIA+ spectrum, possibly? There's not enough man in a dress talking about cars on the internet. Well, I'm here to solve that problem for you. I'm here to introduce you to the car world. I'm gonna assume that you don't know anything about cars because, everyone's at a different level. I'm here to hold your hand and help you learn a little bit more about cars. So, if that is what you want, feel free to join me. Like, share, subscribe, share it with someone you think needs this information in their life. I'm going to be starting with the absolute basics. So, what is an automobile? What makes certain ones better than other ones? The different shapes and body styles. Yeah, let's get right into it. First things first, we're going to talk about the sedan. Now, this is what you imagine when you say car. This thing has the timeless 3-box design. What I mean when I say 3-box design is almost like a child's drawing when they draw a car. It's 3 boxes, one for the engine compartment, one for the passenger compartment, and one for the luggage compartment. This timeless design has lived on up until recently, where most 3-box design sedans are going out of style. Not many of them left, such as this Crown Vic was taken out of production in 2011. It was great while it lasted. It was great because the packaging of it just made sense for the time that it was. You had all your people, you could fit them inside. You have the trunk, which was separate from all of this, so you could put something stinky in there and not have to worry about it. And then you had the engine, just chilling, doing its own thing, and wasn't causing any issues for anyone if you got into an accident, This has gone out of style because of the crossover SUV and sport utility vehicles, which is an SUV. And that's because, insecurities for the American population, but that's beside it. The real reason it went out of production is this is not a convenient use of space. Where you get a truly convenient use of space is this. This is the station wagon, which is all but extinct now, fortunately. It's very similar to the 3-box design. It's a 2-box design. So you have one compartment for your engine, one giant compartment for your passengers. Drawbacks, it's going to be stinky in there if you put something in the trunk. Benefits, you can have 3 rows of seats in this Debbie. You can have people sitting in the backwards facing rear seat and just looking at you and going like this at you at traffic lights. And yet it's still as fuel efficient like sedans are because it's low down to the ground and they usually don't have 4-wheel drive. And because of the full length of the passenger compartment is available, you can fold down those back seats and fill this Debbie up. Do anything you want with her. Sleep in the back of them, do other things. And they're still fun to drive because it's still low to the ground, has a low center of gravity, and they're wonderful. What else can I say? Next, we move on to the coupe, which is very similar to the sedan in the 3-box design. However, the boxes are smaller. Usually the back 2 boxes are smaller because coupes are designed for sexiness. They're a little elegant. Oh, not really elegant. They're more sporty. This one, for example, is a Ford Mustang, and it has a very fun, energetic engine sometimes. Really can only seat 2. That's as much as I would suggest. If you're going to try to sit in the back, it's going to be very cramped. You might want to leave your legs at home because it's not going to be comfortable for you. Especially if you're like me and you're tall. Yeah, not great. Trunk, however, usually is pretty big still. So, you know, take that as you will. Make your choices accordingly and, you know, do your own research if you're interested in buying a car. Next, we're going to talk about the hatchback, which is a lot like its friend, the station wagon. Oh! The reason it's similar to the station wagon is in the two-box nature of the design. So you have your engine compartment and then your passenger compartment. But unlike the station wagon, it's much shorter, and so it's a lot easier to park it and just drive it in general. Because they're smaller, they weigh less, they're faster, they're more economical in some circumstances. And like the wagon, you can fold down the back seats and then have room for days. This specifically is a 3-door hatchback. So you have one on this side, and then the third door is the trunk, which is the actual hatch that opens up like that. I actually own a 5-door hatchback, which, as you can see, really big on the inside and very convenient for bringing a lot of stuff somewhere. It's incredibly convenient, especially as you can see on this one that I own. You can fold down the passenger seat, and then Deb, you have so much room for activities. You don't even know. It's magical. So, they're economical, they can fit a lot of stuff, they're easy to park and drive. What are the drawbacks? If you live in the Northeast and drive in the snow a lot, these aren't as great in the winter. Similar to the 2-wheel drive wagons, sedans, coupes, they're not as good in the snow because they're only front-wheel drive. However, if you have good tires, it doesn't matter, Deb. It doesn't matter. Deb, you get yourself a snow tire, ooh, you're driving through 10 inches of snow, not giving a damn. Convertible, which is very similar to the sedan and the 3-box, we get it. This is similar to all of them. Engine, drivetrain, passenger compartment, trunk. However, see that? See that? Roof comes off. Magic. Lovely. That's what we want. Hair free in the wind. Oh. Love. Downside. Back seat. Non-existent in a lot of convertibles. It's considered a seat. However, there's about like an inch of legroom. I don't know about you, but I personally have a lot of leg, and an inch won't cut it. So I'm gonna have to cut off the legs, and whoever sits in the back, just make sure you give them a saw so they can just, you get the idea. Make sure you use a tourniquet though, that's one thing I would suggest. Also, because of the convertible top mechanism and the actual top itself sometimes goes into the trunk, trunk space is almost non-existent in a lot of convertibles. If you get a hardtop convertible, which has a metal roof that folds back, sometimes they make dividers so that you can actually put stuff in and use some of the trunk when the top is up. Cars like this one with a rag top, that's when it has a canvas top, very small on the inside, very hard to get stuff inside of, and not great if you have to do things with your car other than just, drive around the beach and have fun. Still pretty fuel efficient, although I recently rented a Jeep Wrangler, and when I took the top off, the fuel mileage dropped like crazy because aerodynamics, high, non-existent when you have no doors and no top on a car. Weird, right? Next, we're gonna move on to the pickup truck, which, what can be more American than that? Giant, gas guzzling. Depending on how old it is, it could be comfortable or it could be awful. Ride comfort with older pickup trucks is basically non-existent because they're built to throw stuff in the back of it. And that's really it. They're not built for comfort, they're not built for speed, except nowadays, pickup trucks are often rated the highest. They are very expensive now, some of them are very fast, and pretty reliable. do your own research when you're looking at reliability, because I can't tell you anything. Look at actual reviews that people who have owned the car say, because if they say that it's been in the shop one too many times, you can trust that more than you can trust someone who test drove it for a week. Pickup truck, tried and true, it works. They work well. They can carry a lot of stuff. If you have an older one, very gas guzzling, newer ones are actually pretty good about fuel economy. And newer pickup trucks have been rated the most luxurious vehicles by some magazines in recent years, which is very surprising considering their utilitarian nature. Now, not all trucks are created equal. You see, some vehicles are based on a car platform, which this Honda Ridgeline is based on the crossover, the Honda Pilot. And so because of that, you can't fit as much stuff in the bed of it. The structure of the suspension isn't strong enough to hold the same amount that this bed in, say, a Ford F-150 like this one is. And that's because of the Unibody Construction. What does that mean? Well, if we take a look at this Ford Crown Vic that we looked at earlier, this body was designed to be manufactured separate from the underside of the car. So along the manufacturing line, there would be the frame and then the actual body. So the frame would have all the suspension, the wheels, the engine, the drivetrain, all of that. And then the body would be lowered onto it to make a kind of, not really a car sandwich, but kind of a car sandwich. Whereas a new Volkswagen Beetle, there's no separation between the frame and the body. Instead, it's just this. It's a unibody. So the body and the frame are one. And that's better for getting in car accidents and fuel efficiency because it's much lighter to have the body and frame be one. It's more efficient in terms of the manufacturing process as well. Whereas this is big, heavy, it's strong, and you can hit into a lot of stuff with it. Police cars ramming into things. So if you really have to do truck stuff, like if you put thousands of pounds worth of stuff in the truck bed, then you definitely want a real body-on-frame truck. But if you just want it because you want to throw stuff in the back and not have to smell it every now and again, go for a car-based truck, because then it'll be more comfortable, probably cheaper, more fuel efficient as well. So, more you know. Oh. I am currently going through editing this video, and I realized that it's incredibly long. So this is gonna be a two-parter because I got a little too intense about some of these things. The second part should be out by Monday. It's gonna be me in the same getup and everything. There's gonna be more information to come with SUVs, the difference between an SUV and a crossover or CUV. So if you have enjoyed it so far, hit that like button. Subscribe. If you know someone who knows absolutely nothing, which you think may value from this information, feel free to share it with them. I bid you adieu.